He's pretty much the Republican Moby.
Moby.
The conservative Moby.
Moby on HGH.
Except, believe me, this guy would have knocked out Eminem. He used to be big, then he was small, now he's kind of half big again. Bob.
Yeah! Yeah, Moby!
Alright,
I'm not the only one that made notes on it.
Oh, you got a lot of technology.
Yeah,
You got to.
just like Dave Valikas, I've gone away from the paper and gone electronic.
Amen.
So, it's an honor to be here amongst all of Jason's friends. I thought we would have been a much smaller venue, going past 3. Including the guy who sells him his juice. So, as par for the course for the roasting, you start with the people that are hanging around here, and I'm going to start with the guy on the most left. Kevin.
I figured it was his birthday.
Sorry about it.
You
got a bullseye on your forehead.
First mention you.
It's a pickle.
You're always you're never young enough to go drive around with us and do such mature things as shoot Skittles at people. And you've grown, and it's like you've developed your own tastes and interests. One of them being artwork, and unfortunately, I happen to see it on Facebook. And the other thing I can say is that after looking at that shit would give Stephen King nightmares. Moving on to our next roaster, our first roaster of the night, Mr. Brian.
Oh, thank you.
After many, many conversations, I figured out that the man is really interested in fashion and, fine fabric, and is apparently aficionado of wool. And it's a little thick,
I like the wool. I like the wool.
It's like, but then again, at the same time, this is the same man that can name every director, producer, actor in Hollywood, and knows my shirt was from Banana Republic.
That was a wild guess.
So, you start adding these things up. I really don't think you like the wool around here. It's more the wool around. But that's the sexual preference. And, affinity for
Not that there's anything wrong with
and
that.
the TMZ and the other websites that he is admitted to going to on a consistent
Hey, it's
basis.
good stuff on there.
Brian and I have had a few political discussions, and I'm a very conservative person. And at the same time, Brian's a liberal. And Halloween's coming up, and he plans on giving out candy. He'll just take candy from the people who come to his door and redistribute it to the fat, lazy kids who didn't feel like coming out that day. Moving on.
Fox News roaster, right?
To another, probably liberal.
It's a bullhead Bill O'Reilly.
So you got. All right, moving on to someone who else is probably liberal, just basing that on his skin color. Torian! Torian was one of the people that drove around and hung out, back in our formative years when I had hair and biceps. And Torian, it's like I was always proud of him, because he was black. Number one, hanging out with a bunch of white kids. It's pretty awkward. I feel the same way working in West Philadelphia. But at the same time, I respected him, because he was a little bit older and he was always looking for a job, going through temp agencies. And after reconnecting with him, he's still trying to reach for that higher rung. And a lot of people go to school for the time that he has. Unfortunately, they're called doctors and lawyers, but it's okay. Back to, it's like being a little bit of a, it's like a little bit out of place. I mean, as pale as I am, I have to admit he's the polar opposite. I mean, even Torian's shadow goes, damn, you're black. So, it's like, moving on, turning around to our roast master, Dan Taylor.
Yeah.
Now, Dan recently dropped the bombshell on us, which we knew was kind of coming, kind of hoped wouldn't, that he's going to make the move to Los Angeles. And, pursue his goal in acting. And, it's like, I respect that. And, it's like, there's a lot of groundwork. There's been a lot of actors that have come from South Philly. There's, Well, you'll be the first. All right, that's something. You're accomplishing something.
The situation.
Trent said
The only piece of advice I can give you when you're timing out in LA and trying to build your acting career is during the money shot, close your eyes.
Oh my god.
And finally, moving on to the person who I have the only person I have material about is the reason why we're here, and that's Jason Taylor. He was a member of the Triple Threat, which I was just an honorary member. It's like back then, you worked at McDonald's, and then it's like after we went our separate ways, me back to New Jersey and you to procreating many times. You moved on to Staples. And I hope those CD covers that you took were worth it. And then you went to Circuit City and stole this TV, which then caused them to go bankrupt. Finally graduated to working in Babies R Us, where your crowning achievement has been selling a breast pump to Cole Hamilton. And thank God for that, because the ERA is almost it's like the only thing I can tell you is, again, just like touring, keep reaching for that higher rung, and eventually you'll move up to assistant manager at Walmart. Honestly, Jay Taylor, it's like you're a very, it's like structured, it's like man who reaches, for your goals, whether it be bigger biceps that totally overpower what little calves you have, or your attempt to become a professional wrestler and jump off the top of McDonald's. But honestly, I give you credit, you don't drink. I hate reality and have to drink. And yet, it's like you get off on protein and creatine and headbang into bands that would scare little children, which apparently they sing in while they're in the bathtub. But honestly, I just turned 30 a few months ago. You're handling it within stride. I just locked myself in my apartment and cried myself to sleep while you asked all your friends to come out and to bathe in this. And I'm glad that I was invited, and glad that after all these years, we're still connected, because it's the people that knew you when you were young, and for my case, with hair, that really matter. And really glad to be here, and thanks for having me out.
Yeah.
Back to wood.